Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome on into another special presentation from Man Cave 101 podcast. Today we are bringing you episode 7 of our artist spotlight, where we have not one, but two special guest artists today. And they will be bringing you some more information on their comic books. We'll let them talk about that. But as usual, let me introduce the guys from the Man Cave. The enemies are still calling him Kalo K, the Mama Wanna God. Leo, what's happening?
What's going on, peoples? Here for another one, baby.
Brooklyn in the house. Big Chase, what's happening?
Salute.
And I, of course, am your man in the chair, AA
Ron. Hey, Ron's in the building.
So, as usual, you can catch us on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Apple Podcast, and Spotify.
You guys are good at that, bro.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Y'all good, man. The whole
so, without further ado, let us introduce our special guests from Rising Eagle Comics. We got Mr. Rome and Greg. What's going on, gentlemen? How we doing tonight? How we doing?
Tired, man. I'm at work. You know how it is.
Word.
So I guess, go ahead, Chase.
I know, so cool. So, listen, man, first things first, man. Thank you guys for coming, stopping by, checking out our Artist Spotlight, man. As you guys know, the Artist Spotlight, we reach out to other digital creators, comic books, animation, statues. We got people doing all kinds of great stuff out here. We want the people to know about it. So tell us, first of all, how you guys got started doing comics. How'd you get into this industry?
Am I taking that, Murph, or are you taking that, man?
I'll start off. So we started about 7 years ago, 2016. It all started with seeing Chadwick come on screen in Civil War as Black Panther. In that moment, feeling that energy in theaters sparked something to me, to where I've always been a writer. Started out doing poetry, short stories, things like that. But after seeing that, it sparked me to combine my love of nerd stuff like superheroes, comics, stuff like that, with my writing ability. And from there, bought a Chromebook the very next day, started writing stuff out, and that's when I realized I didn't know enough about the comic book world or industry to really dive into it. I was always, I love movies, I love cartoons, all of that. But as far as the actual comics and things like that, I didn't have enough experience. And that's when I reached out to Greg. We went to the same high school, years apart. And, through Facebook, I had seen how much he knew about comics. When it comes to comics, he knows more than anybody I've met thus far. And he wasn't quiet about it either, which helped me.
No, I was definitely out here debating people out here, man. I was definitely that guy in your thread. Goku not beating Superman. That was me back in the day. So I was definitely that dude. I was shutting that shit down early, bro.
I got some questions for you.
Asking him in the room with Charles.
Hey, tell Charles I'm ready whenever, man. I'm ready to shut down everything.
I reached out to Greg. He started, critiquing and giving me ideas, feedback on stuff. And in the process, it came out that he also had wanted to, do the same thing, write, create stories, be a creator. And from there, I let him take over how we got to today.
So he basically just DM'd me one day. He was like, "Hey man, you do nerdy shit. You want to help me write comic book?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, let's do it."
Yo, that sounds familiar. That's how
all this got started.
So we just started, like you said, we were just working back and forth. I gave him references, people I like to read, who inspired me type shit. And eventually I was like, "Hey man, I want to do this too. Can I hop on the wagon?" Couple years later, me and him both got top sellers out here. We got a big Kickstarter moving. We're traveling a lot now, so I gotta say it was a good DM slide, man. He said my DM really successful.
That's right.
That's what's up. So now, how'd you get the name Rising Eagle? Where'd that come from?
Honestly, as funny as it is, my favorite animal, or one of my favorite animals, is the eagle. It's been around in a lot of aspects of my life. Like our high school mascot was the eagle. Just stuff like that. And when I started out writing, and I was like, I realized I didn't want to just do comic characters. Like I didn't want to just write this guy and this guy. Like I want to build a brand, build something that I could also bring other people in once we got further down the road. Like I'm really big on I want to set the table to allow as many people to eat as possible.
Yeah.
And so in the process of that, I'm like, I need a brand name. I need something. And the original idea was just Eagle Comics. Like it was just straight Eagle Comics. But Mr. Reference here, Greg, reminded me that in the late 80s, there was a Eagle Comics already. They did Judge Dredd and all that.
Hey, what's that about to sue us, bro?
And so,
Good thing you got him, bro. You got the
Not no games, man. Gonna cover everything out here.
And so after that, I'm like, all right, shit, we got to switch it up. We got to change it. I didn't want, at that point, I had already put a lot of man hours into marketing Eagle Comics. It had only been a few months, but like still, it was a name that was starting to grow in circles that I was traveling in and things like that. So I'm like, all right. And then like one day we were probably shitballing and we were like, hey, we're trying to rise to the top. And we were like, fuck it, rise the Eagle. And it's stuck since then. It rolls off the tongue, and now it's starting to become a fairly recognized name. Like in the indie community, people are starting to say, "Oh, I know you guys. I've seen you before," stuff like that. And it feels real good to start from absolute nothing to be where we're now and where we're headed.
Yep.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. So now you write. Who's doing the artwork and who's doing the writing, or are you both doing it?
Me and John, we definitely got we're writers, and we got our third partner. He's a writer. We outsource artists for right now, but we're always hiring. We need artists. We definitely always opening because outsourcing, man, that shit's expensive, man. You're looking like you're like a $3,000, bro. We're like we're that too, bro. We're like, damn, bro. So
we know a couple artists that will do some commission work. So
that's the far away. We definitely always look into work, man. We're always looking to build that relationship.
We'll hook you up with a couple of links of the guys that have been on.
We appreciate it. I can't draw to save my life. I never forget in high school. In high school, it was a history class, and my teacher was like, try and draw. It was either try and draw the United States or try and draw Florida. But at the end of it, they look like each other. And that's when I realized art was never going to be my calling. I left that alone. I'm envious of people who can draw every day, but yeah, it's not for me. So on Connie, which is the project, one of the projects I write, I found my artist through IG. Her name is Cassandra. She lives in Nigeria. Really skilled, super skilled artist. Really great to work with. She's going to be she did Connie 1, she's doing Connie 2, and she's also taken over my first character, Sergeant Soul, who's not featured in this Kickstarter, but his 4th issue will probably be out later this year.
Okay.
All right, cool. I think might be a good time to. I'm going to throw up little presentation that was put together. If you guys want to stop at any point, talk about any of the characters or anything like that, feel free to take it away. I just figured show people the actual work and stuff. So
you could actually go through it. I'll just use the opportunity to bring up the Kickstarter itself. So the Kickstarter is Rise New Comics Squared, Rise of the Sequels. It features Connie, who you guys can see now, Legacy, who's up next, and then the character written by Greg, which is Showtime. They're 3 completely different characters, completely different styles of writing, but they're all in the same universe. Like I said earlier, I really wanted to build something living, breathing, and connected. So now we worked in a way to where through 24/7 contact, because like our group chat is always going. We're always working on ideas.
Yeah.
We've won
I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
A group chat that just runs 24/7. You ever heard that? Game? Okay.
Somebody in there, man.
Nah.
Somebody in there.
Dude, I have to shut my thing down because there's always at least two of us in the damn chat room. Just
Yeah, me and Greg we're throwing ideas out every day, scrapping ideas, all types of stuff. So with the Kickstarter, we're releasing the sequels to all of our debut issues last year, which, like I said, Tiny, Showtime, and Legacy. We've started production on all three of them. I know Greg is about halfway done, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty much done, man. I'm just getting a bit of the line work cut in, and that's it. I'm pretty much done.
Legacy is like 75% done, I believe. And Connie, I'm a little behind the ball. My artist got the script and she's reworking it to go into art production. But yeah, we got the ball rolling. We're using this Kickstarter to raise funds for production, and we want to use it as a way to get it out to as many people as possible.
right.
We've been doing a lot of what we call mixtape selling with our past issues, where we're out the book bag,
That's
Just
Get a CD, bro. He go CD, he go comic. That's been us.
Whatever it takes, bro. So
that's
how it always starts, man.
So tell us about the different stories. Let's start with Connie. So what's Connie about?
All right, so Connie is for people. She, if you're a fan of Batman, but you wish he had actual powers, you love.
I like it. Black man standard. I like it.
Then you're gonna love Connie. She's an immortal assassin. That's her tagline. She was born towards the tail end of slavery. Her parents wanted to protect their baby girl, So during pregnancy, they contact the shaman. He's like, all right, this is what you got to do until she's born. But the condition was he wanted to train her after she was born. So, the spell he does ends up giving her powers. And once she's born, he trains her in every way possible for the next 20 years of her life. And by the time we end up in the actual story, she's been around for about 200 plus years, so she's got battle experience. She's accumulated wealth. She's, done multiple different lives at this point. And we follow her as she takes on her arch rivals, which is the Grand Dragons. They're kind of that, kind of the Illuminati, kind of Hydra, things like that. Like they're one of those big umbrella corporations who just fucks with everything in the worst way.
They got their hands in everything.
Exactly. And she's one of the ones who's been standing up to him for centuries at this point. And we just follow her as she goes through that. Issue 2 is going to be exciting because we get to see a little bit more in depth as to what this organization is capable of, as far as the destruction that they can bring, the connections that they have, the power that they can display, and how she attacks all of that and still overcomes it in the end, and sets us up for a lot of things down the line.
Okay. And so next, what's the next one? Legacy?
Yeah, we got Legacy Blaze.
And
to
then
cover that in short,
Greg can take over Showtime. That is his baby.
Yeah, I got these next two. Legacy Blaze is basically if Black people met Avatar.
Okay.
So they're based the characters are called users, and they can use elements, but it goes past the basic four. You get down to the nitty gritty in terms of even stuff like salt, neurotoxins, anything that can be an element, anything even periodically can be used.
Okay.
So it's basically about this 13-year-old kid. It's his birthday, and he has the worst birthday of his life, and that's the first issue. Everything bad you think could happen in that first issue probably happens to this kid.
Wow.
And so, he's a guy. He's supposed to be a prodigy. So I'm excited to see Shaquille really dive into how diverse electrical powers can be. Because you see that shit all the time. So we're really just trying to showcase how different and how imaginative we can be with these powers.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one thing I personally love about Legacy is even though he is a Black hero who has lightning ability, one thing that's special about this universe is the presence of God armor, which if you look at the characters on the page on the right with the fire covering them, and then his mom is covered in like blue armor. That's actually their powers harnessed to a level high enough to where you turn that element into a solid type of armor. So that blue that's covering her arms and legs is actually lightning harnessed into guard armor, which is, super strong, almost indestructible type power. Of course, when you get a guy like I forgot his name at the bottom, but he's covered fully in his guard armor. So obviously, full guard armor versus partial guard armor is going to end up with
there's a tier thing going on in the universe. It's going to be really well done once you guys see in like issue 2, 3, and 4.
There's literally levels to it, basically. And yeah, like Greg said, we're really excited to see him dive into the deeper sides of a teenager going through such dramatic things, as well as gaining powers, and how he can make those powers different from every other lightning person we've read in the past 50 years or so.
Yeah.
So the more knowledge they get, the more powerful they get, the more training.
Essentially, it's a mental, physical training thing. There's no set time on it because, like I said, prodigies do exist. Legacy's only 13. He's got his first piece. So there's no set time.
Okay.
But in fact, like I said, if I had to compare him off, he'd be like someone like Aang, but he's just a street kid though.
Okay.
So you get to see a lot of really cool shit there that I'm really excited to see.
Okay. It looks great. The artwork looks freaking fantastic.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, yeah, go again. This is my guy, Showtime. He's basically, if I can describe him, Spider-Man responsibility, Deadpool humor, invincible violence, with a big splash of shonen jump art.
Oh,
okay.
So he's basically he's a kid who finds out he's in a comic book. He's 19 years old, freshman, broke, finds out he's in a comic book. And there's only two things you really do, like when you learn shit don't matter. You either do some really evil shit or you do some really good shit. And that's kind of the point I wanted to prove with this is learning how it's basically just a giant metaphor for controlling your own narrative of your life. So I get to write a lot about me if I could make better choices at 19.
Right.
It has a lot of like Matrix themes. You'll see like if you guys read any type of like Grant Morrison, Batman, like All-Star, like those really like heavy metal type shit.
Yes.
That's the style of writing I really aim for. But I also like to be easy enough to. It's not an overwhelming thing like a Jonathan Hickman story where you just like, all right, what the hell I'm reading. Ease you into all the complicated things. Make it funny. And Invincible is a big part of like influence for me. It's a top 3 comic. So I try to bring that level of violence as the story progresses.
Okay.
Shit.
Wow. Yeah. So listen, you and now, if I understood you correctly, these 3 books, these guys are all in the same universe.
Yeah. Showtime is a big connective part without any spoilers. It's a big connective part to a lot of these characters you start to see.
Yeah. So without giving too many spoilers, Showtime is, like Greg said, one of the bigger connectors in the way of he has the most knowledge with he has the strongest connection to our crisis event, which we've set 25 issues out. Yeah, 25 issues out. That's what we're dropping a big crisis event. Yeah, that's what we planned it for. Whereas Connie, she's the connector in the sense of when the team does come together, she's going to be that Batman, that Iron Man type figure as far as, I'm not only do I have the money, but also I'm probably the best strategist here. So, let me save us while you guys do what you do, but don't get it twisted. She's a heavy hitter, so she holds her own, But it's like I said, as far as the connecting piece, and then Showtime, Legacy is going to be, he's going to pull at a lot of heartstrings. Being the youngest one on the team, he's going to have to grow up fast. Like this isn't just a worldwide event. This is a multiversal crisis event, and he's going to be 13 or somewhere between 13 and 16. Aging up a little bit, yeah. Like he's going to be still teenage age. Be dealing with algebra, and he's dealing with saving the whole damn galaxy.
Yeah, listen, that's life for you, bro.
What happens when you have
So yeah, we're like I said, we got a lot planned as far as not just doing one-off characters or just writing stories that because we like to write. No, we're building a real life universe. We're trying to give a representation all around, but not make it cheesy or feel forced. Like these are Black characters or characters of color who deal with real issues, who have real personalities, real stories, things like that. It's not just for shows, not just for gimmicks or shit. Like this is a real living comic universe.
Like John said before, we're just trying to also make a table for everybody. He gave me a table to eat at, so now we're just trying to really expand that. Now that we've gotten the opportunities to travel, we got into a pretty dope amount of conventions.
Yeah,
we're going to fucking Iceland for a convention.
Oh, that's
wait,
awesome.
Wait, which one is the one in Iceland?
We're going to Midgard Con.
Midgard, yeah.
So a quick backstory with that. We had a team meeting and we're all like, oh man, we're applying for conventions, we're just going through our budget and everything like that. And me and John are like, oh, what if we just apply to Iceland? Like, what are they gonna say? If they say no, like, all right, it's whatever. We apply. We get an email the other day, and we're all at work like, did you get that email?
Iceland.
Take a break. Everybody take a break. Everybody just took a break, and we're just all just freaking out over this email that we just got.
Man.
That's dope, bro.
Yeah,
that's what?
Man, I'm super excited for that, and it's my 30th birthday when we go.
Hey,
yo, bring a jacket though.
Extra alcohol and the beer ready. I'm gonna be hyped.
Yeah, extra undies on that one, bro.
I mean, I got the little thermal, the Asgardian thermals, bro.
Yeah. You're gonna need them. You're gonna need them, bro.
Yeah.
So,
I did just want to
mention. Where can people pick up these comics?
So we're available on Comics Wellspring. You can get them digitally. I have Showtime on Manga Plus Share. We have some issues on webnovel.com. If you're in Chicago, you can just hit us up. You just DM us. We all have copies on hand.
Okay.
If you're over east or over wherever, you just message us. We're pretty open with sending out comics. But to tie into that, pledge to the Kickstarter, you get everything.
Okay.
We're almost at 6,000. I think we're at like 5,200, or like we're like 5 days till we hit goal. The pledge, get all our comics, get all the Sergeant Souls, get the Showtimes 1, 2, Legacy 1, 2, Connie 1, 2, get the awesome rewards, and that's the best way to do it, man. Honestly, just pledge, support us, and it's a dollar and a dream vibe with that. So
you can also check out. We got our website, risingeagle.com. If you go to the support page, it has links to the Kickstarter, to our websites, to our merchandise store. If you want to get some gear from us, everything you can need on there. What else?
And sub to our website, and you get a free digital issue of Sergeant Soul 1.
Yeah,
you get a free comic off the jump just for subscribing.
We'll be sure to leave links to everything in the description for everybody this way everybody knows where to access you guys, the Kickstarter, all that, all the social medias. This way absolutely
appreciate it for sure.
All right, so let's get into these other questions that we got for you. All right, I normally like to ask. All right, I'm gonna start with you, Greg. You're the comic book head.
Yeah.
All right, could you give me top 5 characters?
Top 5 characters, not including my own, right? All right.
We already know that.
So that's
already number one. That's already number one. We already know that one.
All right. So Spider-Man Peter Parker is my all-time number 1. I got him tatted here. You can't see him, but I got a big ass Spider-Man sleeve here. After that, I have no order, but it's probably Invincible, Nightwing.
Okay.
Batman Beyond. So where am I at?
Ooh.
4?
Yeah, it's 4.
And honestly, it's a new comic. It's an indie comic I've been reading. Radiant Black. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that.
Yes.
Shit is. I just read the new issue before I hopped on with y'all. That shit's so damn good.
Yes, it is.
That's my top 5 right now. Radiant Black. He might be my number 2 after this run ends. When I seen that man's bank account in that first issue, I was like, I can relate. I'm a broke writer too.
Man.
I'm a broke writer too.
Man.
Okay.
All right, Greg, what you got?
Of Rome.
Rome. Sorry.
I'm kind of predictable with mine. I like
these heavy hitters come out.
I like people that can punch their way out of pretty much anything.
Agreed.
My first 2, like Greg, I got mine tatted. Thor and Superman out the gate. Out the gate. I like I said, I love people that they're smart, but when all else fails, eat this left hook and we'll go about our day.
Yep.
So Thor, Superman, Daredevil, because his run was one of my favorites. The writing in that really helped me in a lot of personal ways, but also influencing some of the decisions I made with my own characters. After that, I got Black Panther and Icon.
Okay. Okay. That's deep because you know what? It's amazing. Most people don't really know Icon. I rarely hear him in the list and whatnot.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
When I started, like I said, when I linked up with Greg and started to realize I needed to improve my comic knowledge, one of the first people I started to read to help write Sergeant Soul was Icon. Because
the 90s, man. There's a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah,
it was great. It helped a lot. Sergeant Soul is someone who can punch his way out anything. And I needed a black character reference to really help me with that. Superman and Thor are great. I'll always love them, but someone like Icon, especially the contrast and character between him and Soul, was really great. Helped me really think outside the box in a lot of ways, and in a lot of the planning for him.
Copy. All right, next.
I mean, all right. So I have a question. So we've been talking to a bunch of different artists. So I guess obviously you guys have told us that your focus is kind of the next books that are coming out, right? The next issues. Yeah. So what do you guys think would be what would be, how do I say this? Almost like a long, do you guys want to get into statues, animated series, TV, Funko Pops, all that?
We're trying to expand everywhere, man. You're trying to hit everywhere, man.
Okay.
We're trying to turn that big 2 into a big 3. We have to be blunt about our goal. We want to be up there.
We want to be the best.
If I'm looking 10 years, 15 years down the line, I want to get into directing. I want to one day direct my own movie, even if it isn't my characters. I want to direct a action or superhero movie at some point down the line. I've always had that dream, but the further I've gotten in this comic book journey, I've started to realize that's really one of my end goals. So directing, creating actual shows, really taking things off the pages is one of my personal goals, and also something that me and Greg have talked about. We share as goals as well.
Yep. Yeah, we're definitely gonna do the Arrowverse a little bit better. You know what I'm saying, with our own universe. They ain't gonna fire us wherever we get picked up at.
I was about to say, because I'm looking at these images that we had up before, and I'm sitting here man, these would be some dope statues. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you know anybody, man, if you guys know anybody who's doing Funko Pop statues, things like that, please link us.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Oh, definitely. We talked to a couple other comic guys who, listen, they got some hot shit on the statues thing. So absolutely,
we would love to have Showtime figurines and statues, and
we talked about cosplaying these characters too. Start getting these characters cosplayed, man. The cosplay community getting just bigger and bigger.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that'd be dope, bro. That'd definitely be dope, man. So, I mean, we currently live in a world where you kind of have to have all of these things. So you have to be looking down the street and around the corner, because, it's one of those things where it's if you want a business, you got to have a website. You got to have an Instagram, social media. If you don't have these things, people don't consider you in business. Right. So you have to start looking at this stuff. But So yeah, definitely. And I mean, you guys, I just want to say, listen, the Showtime cover, yo, that shit is dope, bro. I like that one.
And I can hold you. I got inspired by Nightwing comic I read. I think it was like issue like 70 or something. Like he had like a very similar type of thing. I was like, hey, I like that shit. I like that. I'm gonna use a completely different color verb, different types of jumps. How he did it. But Nightwing, I can say that recent run just helped me with just like motion because so Showtime's name is Leo. That's his real name.
as he disappears. Yeah,
as he disappears.
It's like you said it, he disappears.
I said it, and just reality warped out of here, man.
That's how it goes.
But that comics helped me just how to do motion, just write motion in my comics, whenever I write with a script, and we all write differently. Everyone has like a different. When I write mine, I try to be very descriptive, like flipping at this angle, at this degree, off this panel. I want the comic to be a journey too, because some people are just visual people. So I want this to be a visual journey. So along with the writing is speak for itself, but it's the visuals always get them.
Yeah. That's a fact. Listen, I tell everybody, I'm oldest here. So I started my journey way back in the 80s. And the other guy, Charles, is actually my younger brother. I got him into it. And then at one point I kind of got away from it, and they continued. And then Leo and I connected. Leo's a super big collector. He's got statues, the whole shit.
Yeah, I was in the background.
Yeah. Like you haven't even seen like one. like I'm still kind of like.
You walk in Leo's house. He's got bins of comics, and it's.
That's how I'm trying to be, bro.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Competitively, I'm like, okay, I got to get back on my game because they're making me look bad here. So, but I've always been in it for the art because I'm into art. I do graphics and all that. So I've always been into it for the art. And a lot of times, I don't care if a cover is a key or not. If I think that the artwork is out of here, I'm getting it. Like I just love the artwork and whatnot.
Yeah, that's why I was picky. We were pretty picky with this, getting an artist. Like it took me forever to get an artist. I think John could tell you. I think I waited like 2-3. Like I had the Showtime script done in like 2017.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Like I think I had like 20 scripts done for him. But I was holding out for like the right art. I was like, hey, I need this one dude to hit the vision properly.
I mean, these are your babies, right? So like, you're not gonna leave it to just anybody.
I just couldn't do it.
And I was kind of the complete opposite. Like I said, I started writing in 16, and I put my first issue out in 17.
Oh wow!
And so, but in that process, I've also worked with 3-4 different artists at this point.
Yeah, it's not like crazy too.
Yeah, like I've worked with a few, not to mention all of the side commissions I've tried. Like I really, I'm not nearly as picky, and I'm much more of a fuck it. Let me see how you interpret what I write, and let me see how you bring it to life. And I've enjoyed every commission of every character I've ever gotten. Just because, much like you, I just enjoy the art and seeing it come to life, seeing how people take the words that I put on a page and turn them into something completely different. So I've been a lot more adventurous. And but now like I said, the artist I'm working with for Connie, I told him the other day, like, yeah, we locked in, we taking off to the top together. So
That's dope, bro. So listen, before we wrap up, man, anything else you want the people to know? I know obviously y'all going out to Iceland soon. So where else can they find
any other upcoming events, anything like that?
Yeah. Actually, you catch us at DreamCon in Austin. That's our DC World's convention. Catch us at Fan Expo Chicago. Catch us at Anime Magic Chicago.
Yep.
We're also John and I were throwing this idea earlier, but we're gonna be working on our own comic convention ourselves. So,
oh wow!
I think the city gonna have a lot of things to look for us. Okay. We're gonna work something out. We're gonna see what we can do.
This is a bit of an exclusive, but as to celebrate reaching funding on the Kickstarter, which we strongly believe we will, we're gonna throw a release party But instead of the typical just us releasing our work, we want to do a Chicago con. So we can find a space, start off with anywhere from 5 to 10 vendors. So if you know anybody in Chicago, anybody who's watching this, keep your early July open, because we will be putting together something, like I said, to allow other people to eat, to allow other people to network. We feel like, as far as the indie creative community goes in Chicago, it's not as connected as we like.
Nah, it's pretty stingy out here, man.
Like in New York, every indie creator knows each other up and down the East Coast. They're always working together, supporting each other. And we want to bring that to Chicago. We want to have, a space for especially Black creators to, show off their work, to network, to rise to the top as well. So, like I said, early July, we will be throwing a release party, aka a Chicago Con, and it ain't gonna be a one-time thing. We'll be back for sure.
No, yeah, we're gonna be building.
Okay, so listen, when that happens, we tell everybody, our doors are always open. You got things going on, definitely reach out to us, man. Come back, tell everybody what's going on, where to find you, and all of that. You know what I mean? That's what this platform is for. Hey, listen, I want to thank you guys for coming out with us once again, man. My man Greg and Ron, Rising Eagle Comics. Go check it out. Go pick it up. Especially that Showtime, because that cover's sick as hell.
Support the team. We'll be back up here for issue 2. We'll talk about issue 2. We'll dive into some more sneak peeks with you guys.
Come on back, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I guess
guys.
We're out of here.
We're out of here. We appreciate you guys.
Play my theme music.